Husqvarna Viking has put a fun grouping of stitches in this machine all the way over at, I know you have to scroll at the top, at H, dimensional stitches. I want to get into all these different stitches, how to stitch them, and how to reference the built-in video of how to make these stitches, so you don't forget, in this machine. Hi, I'm Sarah from sewingmastery.com, and we're doing all the free video tutorials on this beautiful machine, and you'll find a playlist on YouTube that you'll find in the description where you can click and then start playing from the very beginning. So dimensional stitches has been something of an exclusive feature on the Husqvarna Viking Epic machines and a few other models, but how do we go in and find where they are and what are they in the first place? So in H1, we have something called applique stitches, lots of different ones. You kind of see a grayed part of the stitch. Now that is actually going to be applique of a fabric you are going to apply when the machine stops, and then you add the fabric, you keep stitching, and then at the end you cut it away. Now how did I know that? Well, there are tutorials in this machine to help you learn how to do these. But before we get there, let's just go to the next menu. H2 are what are called pop-up stitches. I have done this in our Stitching Cosmos online course, and those are fun to stitch out. They're kind of little pieces of fabric that kind of pop, and so they're dimensional, hence the name of this category. So there's lots of them as well. H3 are what are called sequin stitches. Yes, you can put sequins in the stitches. They actually pause for you to add those in. And H4 are actually two categories called embellished stitches. The first 6 are actually for crystals that you would glue into the little circle openings. They're adorable. And 7 through 10 are actually tassel stitches. Now here's what I'm also going to do. I'm going to show you a few more things on this machine so you know where to find all the information, but we are then going to link in the description below to our previous videos that we've actually done where I do sew out each of these stitches on the Epic 2. So they do take a little bit of stitching time, so that's why we're going to just reference those, but follow this video for where to find it on your Epic 3. And also, I hope you're starting to use some of the built-in videos that this machine has in it. And if you're doing your stitch book and you've gotten to these and you kind of go, oh gosh, what are these again? Don't forget you can touch the question mark at the top. Once it starts pulsating, touch a stitch and it will identify that stitch. So this is a stitch that can be either used as is or be further embellished by attaching crystals in the sewn circle. So super fun on that part. So let's just say we are back at the beginning of your machine. I'm going to touch the Husqvarna Viking logo at the top. Start by touching sewing. And here, I want you to look right under where it says Start New. That's usually what you push and just start sewing. But there is a tab for techniques. So those are all your techniques. The tab for exclusive sewing techniques, that's what we're talking about right now. Dimensional stitches. There's other ones here for how to do other ones. Great, good. So how about for fun, let's talk applique stitches. So by going through this set of steps, you're going to get 2 bonus things. Number 1, you're going to get a pop-up with, on this one, 5 steps. As we touch the arrow to the side, it's showing us like what we need for a list of materials and how to load the stitch and how to sew the stitch. So any place that you see this little play symbol, that's the universal icon for a movie. And so I want to have you push it and up comes the video player. So what it's going to do is it's going to walk you through each of the steps you need to take as you set up your machine. So this is almost easier than pulling up one of our YouTube videos, but it's going to start to play out with everything that was defined in the steps prior to the video. So it's going to stop. Here's where we put the fabric in. It's going to stitch. You're going to continue on, and then towards the end, it will actually, then you come in and cut it out. And that's how we get the little applique shapes in with our decorative stitches. Isn't that awesome? Okay, but one more thing, but wait, there's more. I'm gonna close out the video. Notice I have one more step. Go to step 5, little hints and tips, but right up here it says content. When you push content, what it does, it gives you all the stitches that are applique stitches. So it like makes everything else disappear, and then all you have is just the stitches that you can pick for exactly this technique. So if you want to pick stitch number 23, it's like you're working from your very own menu, and it's ready to stitch. The last thing that we have you do is don't forget you always set the machine to stop in the needle with the down position and utilize the start stop button when you do this. Don't use your foot control because you might hesitate and not know that it stopped, and then you start again and you miss the cue for putting the fabric in. So that's my only real tip is needle stop down and use the start stop button when you're stitching this out. Okay, so let's do this one more time because we have those other stitches. Go to the Husqvarna Viking icon at the top, touch sewing. Yes, it will ask you to clear your ongoing work. Look for the tab for exclusive sewing techniques. Let's select sequin stitches. Here's that little 4 steps this time, what you need, the supply list, how to set it up, and the video of how to do it. But let's just go right to the content tab. Here are the stitches that are set up to be sequin stitches, and they have this little plus that's actually showing right there. And then that way you can see that's where it's going to stitch the sequin in place. Now notice that foot has a question mark on it. So this means that there is a foot it recommends that doesn't come with the machine, and that's actually the open toe foot. So that's the foot that works best when you actually do the sequin stitches. So you can actually stitch from the menus here, but if you want to go through the tutorial part, then it's going to make sure that you get to just the stitches for those specific techniques, and then you can follow along in the proper order. There are some other ones, like there's this little ballerina. She stitches out totally different, so there was a video specifically for her, and she just stitches one girl at a time. And the little pop-up actually forms her dress. That's why she kind of looks a little naked. Your fabric that you pick is actually her dress that covers up her legs, and it is super, super fun. So 2 things. Number 1, I hope you'll take some time for understanding, learning these stitches as you do your stitch book. If you haven't started a stitch book yet, you have to do it for this machine. It's so, so worth it. That's what everybody says. I've done it. Everybody's done it. It is a wonderful, wonderful reference. Next, try out using the tutorials that are built into your machine, or you can go right to our description below and watch me stitch out each of these stitches. Yes, it's on an Epic 2, sews out the same exact way, but it will give you the idea of how each of these stitches are created. Okay, decorative stitches are fun. Have some fun with them. Find new places to use them in future projects, and I know everybody will be wondering, how did you do that? If this video has been helpful, make sure you click like on every video of ours that you watch. That is your way of saying thank you for the free information. Plus, we have online courses for you to master this machine beyond these basic tutorials.